The second thing is acknowledge God. We have to acknowledge God. You have to recognize that no matter how smart you are, you still don't know everything. And so I need to acknowledge God. Even when I think I know what to do, even when deep down in my gut, if you will, I feel this is the right thing to do. I'm not going to walk in my feeling. I'm going to acknowledge God. I'm going to pray about what to do. Yeah, it feels real good, but I still got to pray. Even when folks are trying to push me to make a decision, no, I don't do that no more. That's foolishness to just do something because it feels like it's right. I done messed myself up too many times doing something just because it felt right. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I'm preaching to some of you right now. You ain't giving me no amen, but I got your number. You love to do things when it feels right. But let me tell you something. There are times that the feeling can be right, but the choice is wrong. And so sometimes acknowledging God will help you to put your feelings in check. No, I don't need to go there. No, I don't need to hang with them. No, I don't need to sign this. No, I'm going to trust God. I know y'all saying I need to do something, but God ain't told me to do nothing. He told me to be still and know that I am God. And so that takes something when your feelings are trying to push you. Woo! Wait, look at somebody else and shout, I know what the preacher talking about right now. I have made decisions based upon my fear. I made decisions based upon the research. I made decisions based upon the advice of a man. But when I started to acknowledge God, one thing I found out that God will never stir you wrong. God will never lead you wrong. And one thing about God, even when he leads you down the path, if all hell should break loose on that path, you can do like David. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will yet fear no evil. Why? This is what God told me to do. This is the decision God. That's a good confidence. Because some folk are so immature that they try to jump on everything. But a child of God has to have patience. He or she has to be able to endure difficulty while you wait on an answer from God. Endure difficulty until God tells you what to do or how to handle something. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Even when it comes to dealing with people, I've learned that you just can't go off on folk because they're going off on you. You got to acknowledge God. You got to ask God for some wisdom to handle some certain folk, because everybody just is not lovable. Some folk make it difficult for you to love them. And so you have to acknowledge God when you deal with certain people. Oh, some of us, that's what's done kept us from fighting folk. It ain't that we can't fight no more. We just learn to acknowledge God. It ain't that we can't reach for the blade and slash up a little something. We just learn to acknowledge God. Acknowledge God before you go off. Acknowledge God before you blow up. Acknowledge God before you lose your temper. Acknowledge God before you say something that you can't get back. Oh, you ought to give him a praise for that. We have to acknowledge God. Notice what I'm saying, in all of our what? Ways. The third do, he says, you must fear the Lord. You have to fear God. Notice this. If you will trust God, you will have no problem acknowledging God. And if you will fear the Lord, you have no problem doing the fourth do, which is to depart from evil. See, if I fear the Lord right, I don't have a problem departing from that which is evil. Now, in this year, we are equating evil with foolishness. See, when you fear the Lord, you're going to depart from foolishness. Why? You don't have time to allow somebody to get you to doing, acting, or thinking in a way that is foolish or not pleasing in God's sight. See, that's the reason I guard my heart when it comes to who I hang with, because I don't want somebody foolishness to jump off into my mindset and have me thinking in a way that I don't have no business thinking. Oh, tell you, you better guard your heart and tell them you better know when to depart from evil. Because let me tell you something about evil. Evil will masquerade itself as being good or being wonderful. That's the reason you need discernment. See, when you fear the Lord, he will give you discernment of how and when you need to get away from foolishness or evil. Some of us right now, our lives would change for the better drastically if we would go and depart from evil. Go ahead and get away from certain folk. Go ahead and disconnect from certain things. Go ahead and stop going to certain places. Just purpose in your mind that I'm not going back to such and such, because every time I go back over there, I get to thinking in ways that ain't right. I'm just got to stop calling my homegirl, because every time I hook up with homegirl, we start off talking right for the first 5 minutes, and then the last 45 minutes is nothing but trash in my spirit. And so I've got to depart from evil, even if I got to block out the phone. I got to figure out a way to depart from evil, because if I remain in evil, I won't get my miracle. I won't get the blessing. Tell your neighbor, you have to depart from evil. But tell somebody, you can't do it unless you fear God. So the do's: trust God, acknowledge God, fear God, and depart from what? Evil. We as saints call a lot of things evil that folk do. We can see for people operating in a certain sin, and we quick to call that's evil right there. Not understanding that as a child of God, whenever I lean to my own understanding above the understanding of God, like it or not, I'm operating in evil. Hadn't smoked a cigarette, but I'm operating in evil. Hadn't hit a rock or crack, but guess what? Operating in evil. Not drunk on wine or liquor, but drunk on my own understanding, drunk on my own pride, drunk on my own way of doing things, drunk on the fact that I think I know everything, drunk in the sense that I won't acknowledge God, drunk in the sense that I won't wake up and trust God, drunk in the sense that I'm dying but I won't wake up and acknowledge God to give me life, drunk in the sense that I hear an anointed preacher but don't do what the preacher say, drunk in the sense that I come to church hypocrite pretending to be something that I'm not, drunk in the sense. See, whenever you lean to your own understanding, like it or not, you are operating in foolishness. That's a tough statement. Understand why? Because man's understanding is limited. But this is what I want you to see when it comes to man's understanding. Man's understanding is sometimes, listen carefully, anti-God. This is the reason in our day and time folk are quick to call evil good and good evil. Why? They're anti-God. See, whenever your thinking or your mindset gets to be to the point to where it is anti-God, you say things like, I know what the word said, but I got to do what I got to do. You anti-God. I know what pastor said on Sunday, but pastor don't know what I'm going through. He ain't in the shoes that I'm in, and I got to get up and make a move before it's too late. Well, like it or not, the move that you gonna make is gonna be a move that you regret, because your mind is a mindset that's anti-God. See, you have to come to church, and no matter what you have been going through, you have to be willing to listen to the proclamation of the word and change your mind so that your mind can line up with what thus saith God. Not only what is written, but what is revealed through the house prophet. Oh, we ought to give God a praise. You have to come to church realizing that sometimes your mind is not where it needs to be. Many of us know we've been going through something, and instead of praying, knowing what the word say, out of fear, out of pressure, our mind is to the point to where we anti-God. Some of us struggling financially this morning. Struggling. But look at your mindset. Your mindset is anti-God. You don't tithe. or you tithe every now and then. Like it or not, your mind is anti-God. But you're struggling trying to come out on your own rather than lining up with God's plan for his people. Woo-wee. You are trusting in the worldly system. Baby, you got to operate within kingdom principle, and you have to give according to the word of God. I know some of you that didn't set well with you because you say, Pastor, I pray every day. I read my word every day. How I'm going to be anti-God? It's easy to be anti-God when you allow your mind to drift. When God gives you instructions to do a thing, and if you don't do what God tells you to do, like it or not, you anti-God.